try something new, I'm going to discuss a little bit about Halloween Horror Nights. So for this year, Halloween Horror Nights is going from September 6th to November 2nd on select nights. There's also a really good deal that's going on, buy one, get one free. Really awesome. We used that last year. We got to go for 4 times and half the price, so really awesome way to utilize it. It's going on until June. There's just about 4.5 months left until HHN starts. I figured now would be a good time to start talking about it. Kelly and I, we started going in HHN 25, and we've been there since. So that was a really cool year to start out. It was their tribute year for the 25 years that they've already done. So it was a lot of a really good time, and it was a great experience. So we're going to also discuss some prior experiences and some tactics that we use when we go to the event that kind of makes the event not seem like what you kind of read about with long waits, crowds, and everything like that. So first we'll start talking about some of the announcements that have already happened. We've gotten 2 so far, the first one being of 2019 is Stranger Things is coming back. So this is going to cover seasons 2 and 3, which actually premieres in July, season 3. Now, Stranger Things was a house last year for the first season. It was a really visual house. They did a very good job. They went all out on it. It followed the storyline perfectly. They actually opened the house during the daytime as well once the event ended on the Stranger Things Day, which is really cool. So I look forward also to the future more Netflix partnerships with HHN and hopefully bring some cool properties. Really look forward to this house. It's going to be a good one. The second house to be announced is Nightingale's Blood Pits. Now this is a sequel house to Nightingale's Blood Prey from HHN 21. They made a brief return for Jack's 25 house. It was 25 years of Monsters and Mayhem. That was a really cool house. That was one of the first houses me and Kelly went into. It was really long, and they were briefly in that, so that was kind of cool that we get to see them come back since we didn't see them at HHN 21. This house, the Blood Pits, is going to take place in the Roman times during the Gladiator period, and it's going to kind of cover that storyline there, so that's really excited. And I always love Universal's own properties that they create. They always come out with really, really good stuff. As of now, that is all we have. Last year, most of the announcements were kind of done through following a tweet or a post that would kind of give notice about the reveal that was happening, like the day before. Like tomorrow at noon, there'll be an announcement. So I actually prefer the way they did it this year as they did the years before last year, which was kind of you would just be scrolling online. If there was a leak, there'd be a leak, but if you're scrolling online, all of a sudden there'd be a reveal, typically from Monday to Friday. So that was kind of cool. I like that better without a warning. I didn't really like last year's too much, the way they did that, but regardless, it's still always exciting to get reveals. With the case of shows, so far we've got no word about shows, but I can imagine that Academy of Villains will return again. I am really, really, really hoping for another show also, something kind of similar to Bill and Ted's. Obviously not Bill and Ted's, but something similar that's really going to kind of cover, the pop culture aspect that they did, the parody. It was a great show. Honestly, really fun. Look it up on YouTube if you have never seen it. They covered Bill and Ted kind of perfectly. So for extras and add-on, there's a bunch of extras and add-ons that they do offer. Kelly and I, we've done Scare After Dining last year. That was the first time we did that, which was a really good time. The buffet was really filling. It was $50 a person, which is kind of a lot, but the experience you get was really fun, especially being able to see the characters. You get to take a picture with them, and they interact extremely well. So this year I think we're going to actually try to do like the RAP tour or the other daytime tour that they do, kind of behind the scenes. We kind of haven't decided yet, but I think that's kind of where we're going with. And for, so I mentioned earlier that we do some kind of tactics that we do and experiences we've had, so kind of discussing that. We do go in late October. I feel like we do a really good job of avoiding lines. So we typically get the half off night fast pass. Each event, as long as they don't sell out, they do offer fast passes at half off, starting I believe at 10 or 11, depending on what time the park closes. I think that's correct. It's depending if it closes at 1 or 2, because they close. So you always have to keep an eye on the calendar on when the park closes, because some nights are different than others, as well as some nights aren't having HHN as other nights. Sometimes there's weird things like a company will rent out a day of the week, and it'll be a day that seems like it would be like on the schedule, but it's not. So keep in mind that when you're looking at scheduling. So we do that, the half off fast passes, just to kind of get into houses that we maybe not hit earlier on. or just to kind of do things twice. We do typically hit all the houses without fast passes though. But it is helpful to get the fast pass to ensure you can do houses like Stranger Things and not worry about it. Also, another exciting tip to do is Stay and Scream. Stay and Scream is great because it allows you need a daytime ticket and also an event ticket, but this allows you to stay in the park. So they do close the park at certain times. So this is also good to know even if you're not going to the event, because they do offer that. They do close early. So if you're thinking you're going to hold it in the park, they do close at 4:30, 5 o'clock. Sometimes some HHN's happening, and if you do not have the HHN ticket, you are cordoned off and pushed out of the park. So the Stay and Scream allows you to stay in certain designated areas. I think there's 3 or 4. I know the bar has one, the Irish bar. Also, Moe's is a good one. That's where we typically go to, and we'll stay there. Finnegan's, that's it. But Moe's will stay there, and that's kind of the best spot we do. They have good food options at Moe's. They have the food court there, and also across the street is a part of the Scare Zone as well, which is the Duff Brewery, which has obviously the beer, but so does Moe's. So that's a good option when it comes to staying screen. Also, another important tip that we feel is very beneficial is kind of, and this is also good to use in the theme parks in general, but to rush to the back of the park as soon as the event happens by Men in Black. Because at the entrance they do have a lot of the major houses there, and it forms a huge jam. If you go through the front gates at opening, if you don't have Stay and Scream, you'll see. And a lot of people just go to the first house they see, and then that causes a big wait lines and everything like that. So typically the best thing to do is to rush to the back of the park. You could typically do 3 or 4 houses in less than an hour with no fast passes if planned correctly, because the houses also do have exits and entrances that sometimes correlate with each other very well and sometimes not. So if you plan it correctly, you could be getting out of a house at an exit and then basically walking right into the line for the entrance of the house. So it's really good. And also some houses do open up later, so it can become very beneficial. Sometimes, one time, I think it was in 26, we were in the corner by where the Ghostbusters used to be, in that corner there by the Tribute store, just past Jimmy Fallon, and we ended up doing 2 houses in that corner. We walked out, and we were literally just about to pass one of the houses that wasn't open yet, and we watched them remove the gate, and we were able to walk right in front of the line and be the first one to go in that, so we were able to do 3 houses, kind of like that, with no fast passes. So it's about being kind of in a good place, and also kind of avoiding that big pressure hole that's kind of in that entrance of the park. Also, another good thing is to hit the houses on the way out of the park when you're closing. So typically they don't stop people from getting in the lines until the park actually closes, like at the time they say. So if you can get in right before it closes, something that might even be like a 2-hour line, they do get you through extremely quickly. Last year we did that with Stranger Things. The year before that we did that with American Horror Story. So we were able to do those houses multiple times each night. So again, you just jump right in line. I think it was a 2-hour line for Stranger Things last year. We were in within like 30 minutes through the house. So again, really, really cool. Another awesome option that happens at Horror Nights is the food and drinks. So they do have specialty drinks. They also have beer and stuff like that. So that's a fun part of the event with cool blinky cups and stuff like that. And they're typically pretty cool twists on the event, on what they're doing. Currently we don't have an idea of what the event's going to be kind of having or what the theming's going to be. Last year was kind of 80s theme, so they kind of covered that. But yeah, so basically the other food options that they also have are specialty food options, like Twisted Taters, which is a pretty cool option. Kelly and I tried that last year. We did the Suicide, which is all the flavors in one. It's definitely unique. I would try it if you enjoy it, but definitely try the other flavors as well. They're really, really good. It's a cool option. Being that Stranger Things is coming back also, I imagine their food is as well. I know they had the donut on a stick last year, which we tried, was really good, and a couple other stuff like that, like waffles was a big heavy item that they had, so I imagine that'll come back as well. We have not tried pizza fries. This is a pretty popular item there. A lot of people seem to love. So that seems to be it for this video. I just wanted to, again, get a brief kind of video out there, just to kind of get the discussion started. Please comment some things that you like about Halloween Horror Nights or some questions you might have, and I can cover it in the next video. Thank you, like the video, and subscribe.